Have you ever noticed that the lazier you are with certain things, the happier you become after 80? It turns out that being a little lazy about certain things in life might actually make you happier after 80. In this video, we're exploring 5 areas where doing less can lead to a longer, calmer, and more joyful life. Because happiness after 80 isn't about running faster or doing more, it's about slowing down, letting go of what no longer serves you, and learning to live with ease and wisdom. As we age, we often feel pressure to stay productive, to keep busy, to prove we're still capable. But true peace in later life doesn't come from constant motion, it comes from knowing what to release. When you stop chasing perfection, control, or approval, life begins to feel lighter. Stay tuned until the end because you'll discover how these small shifts in attitude can not only lift your mood but also improve your health, your relationships, and even your sense of purpose. By the time we finish, you may realize that being lazy in the right ways isn't weakness, it's freedom. Now, let's get started. Habit 1: Being less obsessed with controlling everything. One of the greatest sources of unhappiness for older adults is the belief that they must stay in control of everything: their family, their health, their routines, even how others live their lives. But those who age happily into their 80s and beyond often share one quiet secret: they've learned to stop trying to manage the uncontrollable. Control feels safe, but it's also exhausting. It drains emotional energy and creates constant tension. When you expect life to follow your plan, every small change feels like a disappointment. But when you allow life to move naturally, when you trust that not every problem needs your hand to fix it, you begin to feel peace instead of pressure. Take someone like Frank, an 82-year-old retired teacher. For most of his life, he tried to control everything around him: his children's careers, his wife's choices, even the way his neighbors mowed their lawns. But after suffering a mild heart attack, he realized that stress had been his constant companion. Once he began letting things go, allowing his children to live their lives, ignoring small annoyances, his blood pressure dropped, and his laughter returned. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring, it means you start trusting. It means you recognize that the world doesn't collapse if things don't go your way. Happiness after 80 often begins the moment you release the illusion of control and accept that peace is found not in order but in acceptance. There's a beautiful strength in stepping back. The older we get, the more we realize that the storms of life don't need us to hold them still, they pass on their own. The people who live longest and happiest aren't the ones who hold tight, they're the ones who learn to loosen their grip and smile anyway. When you stop trying to control everything, you rediscover the simple joy of just being. And sometimes, that quiet surrender is the greatest freedom of all. Habit 2: Being lazy about pleasing everyone. Another thing that steals happiness in later life is the endless urge to keep everyone happy. Many seniors, especially those who have spent years raising families or building careers, carry a habit of saying yes even when their hearts want to say no. They worry about being polite, about disappointing others, about seeming selfish. But the happiest people after 80 have learned to be a little lazy when it comes to people-pleasing. They no longer rush to attend every event or agree to every request. They stop apologizing for needing rest. They understand that their time and energy are precious, and they choose carefully where to spend them. This shift doesn't make them cold. Take Ruth, an 84-year-old widow who used to volunteer for everything at her church. She baked, organized, cleaned, and rarely said no. But over time, she found herself feeling more drained than fulfilled. One day, she told her pastor, "I love helping, but I think I've given enough for now." Instead of judgment, she found understanding. She started attending fewer meetings and spending more mornings watching the sunrise with her coffee. The peace she felt was something she hadn't known in decades. When you stop trying to please everyone, you begin to rediscover what truly pleases you. Your laughter sounds freer. Your schedule feels lighter. You stop measuring your worth by how much others approve of you and start feeling grateful for the small moments that make you happy. Being a little lazy about people-pleasing is not selfish, it's self-preserving. It means you finally trust that you are enough without constant giving. It means you've earned the right to say, "I've done my part, and now it's time to rest." As we age, our circle of concern should shrink, not out of indifference, but out of wisdom. You can't carry everyone's happiness. And once you stop trying to, you'll be amazed how much joy quietly returns to your own heart. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Habit 3, being less driven to chase perfection. Perfection is one of the heaviest burdens people carry through life. For many, it starts early, wanting perfect grades, a perfect career, or a perfect family. But by the time you reach your 80s, the pursuit of perfection often becomes the biggest thief of joy, the happiest scene. They've stopped polishing every detail and started embracing life as it is, flawed, unpredictable, and deeply human. Take Harold, 81, who used to be meticulous about his home. He'd spend hours every weekend cleaning the garage, trimming the bushes, and arranging his tools just right. But one day, his grandson said something simple, "Grandpa, I like it better when you're sitting with me, not sweeping." Harold realized he was missing real moments, trying to maintain an image of order that no longer mattered. He began letting things be good enough. His house was a little messy, but his heart was much lighter. Chasing perfection in old age is like trying to catch the wind. There's always something to fix, something to adjust, something not quite right. But when you stop trying so hard, you begin to notice what was already beautiful. The imperfections, the wrinkles, the clutter, the forgotten words become reminders of a life lived fully. Perfection is an illusion that demands your time but never rewards it. When you release that illusion, you gain back energy for the things that truly count, like laughter, connection, and contentment. Seniors who learn this truth don't spend their days comparing, judging, or regretting. They live in acceptance, and that acceptance becomes their peace. Being lazy about perfection doesn't mean giving up standards, it means giving up the war against yourself. It means looking at life and saying, "This is enough. I am enough." After 80, happiness often hides in the spaces where you stop forcing things to be flawless and start letting them simply be. And in that stillness, you'll find that contentment doesn't come from perfection at all, it comes from presence. Habit 4, being lazy about worrying what others think. One of the greatest freedoms that comes with age is realizing that most of the things you worried about never really mattered, yet many people carry the habit of overthinking how they appear to others, how they look, how they sound, what others might say about them. But those who live joyfully after 80 have learned to be wonderfully lazy about other people's opinions. They no longer chase approval or lose sleep over judgment. They don't measure their worth by someone else's standards. Instead, they find peace and authenticity, living as they are, not as others expect them to be. Take Edna, an 85-year-old who used to spend hours worrying about whether her neighbors thought she looked old or lonely. One day, she decided to start wearing bright red hats and singing in the grocery store. People smiled, and she smiled back. She told her daughter, "I spent too many years trying to look normal. I think I'll just enjoy being me now." That simple shift, caring less about perception and more about presence, changes everything. It allows you to laugh louder, dress comfortably, and live boldly without apology. Seniors who learn this often describe a new lightness in their lives. Their stress decreases, their self-esteem rises, and their health even improves. Worrying about what others think is a quiet thief of joy. It makes you act smaller than you are, hide what you feel, and waste energy on impressions that fade quickly. But when you stop worrying about approval, you reclaim that energy for living. You start saying yes to small pleasures, like dancing in your kitchen or taking a walk simply because the air feels good. People will always have opinions, but they're rarely thinking about you as much as you imagine. Most are too caught up in their own lives to judge yours. Realizing that truth can be deeply liberating. So be lazy about reputation. Be lazy about judgment. Focus on kindness, peace, and authenticity instead. Because at the end of life, no one looks back wishing they'd been more admired, they wish they'd been more free. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Habit 5, being lazy about rushing through life. One of the quietest yet most powerful habits that determine happiness after 80 is learning to slow down, not just physically, but mentally. Many people spend their entire lives hurrying toward the next thing, the next meal, the next appointment, the next task on their list. But the happiest seniors are the ones who have grown a little lazy about rushing. They've stopped chasing the clock and started living by their own rhythm. You can see it in how they move through the world. They sip their coffee slowly. They take their time folding laundry. They pause to listen when someone speaks. They've discovered that joy hides in the moments most people rush past. John, an 83-year-old man who spent decades in business, used to be glued to his planner. Even after retirement, he filled his days with activities just to feel useful. But one morning, as he sat on his porch watching the sunrise, he realized he hadn't done that in years. "I've been so busy living," he said, "that I forgot to live." From that day on, he replaced his schedule with stillness. He found more happiness in one quiet morning than in years of busyness. When you slow down, something incredible happens. You begin to notice life again, the color of the sky, the sound of laughter, the warmth of sunlight through the window. These small details, invisible to those who rush, become the heartbeat of your day. Being lazy about rushing isn't laziness, it's wisdom. It means you've learned that time doesn't hurry. After 80, happiness belongs to those who move gently, those who no longer measure their worth by productivity but by peace. Because in the end, no one remembers how fast you were, they remember how present you were. The secret is simple: walk slower, breathe deeper, and let life unfold at its own pace. You'll find that everything you were rushing to reach was already right in front of you all along. Final thoughts. As we wrap up this video, take a moment to think about what these 5 habits truly mean. The word lazy has always carried a negative tone, but after 80, it begins to take on new wisdom. It's not about neglect or giving up, it's about choosing peace over pressure, presence over performance. The truth is, life gets lighter when you stop gripping it so tightly. When you let go of control, stop chasing perfection, care less about judgment, release the urge to please everyone, and slow your pace, you begin to rediscover what joy really feels like. You don't have to prove anything to anyone anymore. You've already lived, given, built, and learned enough. Happiness after 80 isn't a miracle. It's a choice. It's choosing to rest when you're tired, laugh when you feel silly, and forgive yourself for being human. It's realizing that slowing down doesn't mean you're falling behind, it means you've finally caught up to what matters. So the next time you feel guilty for doing less, remember you're not being lazy, you're being wise. You're honoring your body, your time, and your heart. And that kind of wisdom is what makes the later years not only peaceful, but profoundly beautiful. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.